All right, so I'm telling you now, this is a question that's been really kind of aching on people's minds, right? Basically, we're at a point here where yes, we just got a very, very strong character, but the thing is, this character can be looked at in many different ways, and I do see what people are saying, but I do want to mention something, right? And personally, in my opinion, this banner looks like as if, if you're playing the game at like max capacity, you kind of want to pull him, and there's a reason for that, all right? Hear me out before anything, but I will talk about it here today if you're new to the channel. Like and subscribe, helps out a ton. Let's break it down real quick. So basically, there's a lot of festival units that we have considered must summons. If you look at like this year, if you were to say, people skipped Mael. You have to realize that people skipped Mael, and at the end of the day, if you look at it, Mael is a very powerful character. In a lot of the PvE final bosses, almost all of them, if not, I think actually all of them, were able to be beaten and used properly with Goddess Team. That was it. Simple as that. Goddess Team destroys. So just keep that in mind because their stats are so high. Mael is such a powerful character, even though there is a new gimmick that stupidly was added where light and dark characters don't do crap against new bosses. Even with that, Mael still does a lot of damage, correct? So that's the first thing. Beyond that, you had Purgatory Bond, which was also a very powerful character, and now you run into another character that is super powerful. All this here, we've gotten some really strong festivals. Again, Bond post-buff, keep that in mind. But you're at a point here, and this is why I'm going to argue for this banner to be a must summon. You have to realize, they're giving you 240 summons. That means you're only investing out of your gem count 660 gems to get a Dark Festival unit. A Dark Festival unit with the chance to pull some extra Festival coins or dupes, depending on how you're playing the game, or pulling Purgatory Meliodas. Yes, there's a lot of filler on this banner, which is true. There's also a chance to finally obtain these two characters over here, potentially more copies of this character if you need them, and this character over here, and whatever it is, this character also still has some sort of use case. Yes, I know right now this Dissolvers will take away, but realize that there is actually something I want to cover later on, so understand what I mean here. It'll come soon. So there you are, right? That is what you're currently at. 240 summons are being given to you. 660 of your own gems are going to be put into this banner, and that is why I say for a lot of players it may be a must summon. But that's the beauty of it all. Listen again, all right? Yes, that's how I feel. But guess what? Because you're going to take 4 weeks. You can't time travel and do anything better. You're going to take 4 weeks to beat this. By the time you finish this login, you're going to know what JP has next, okay? So if that is a collaboration, then boom, and you care for a collaboration more, that's the must summon for you. You go for the collaboration, correct? You can lose this banner, definitely that is true. This banner is mainly only for Demon Team players, people that love Demon Team more than anything. That is what you're getting here. This character right here, I can do this, I didn't even know that. But this character right here is designed just for Demon Team. That's it. He doesn't have a use case outside of that. He is Demon Team, a PvP slaughter. He is going to be a very strong character if you want to also kind of compete in some PvE content, like Bird or whatever. I'm telling you now, in Hero Arena, he's going to be a staple, which is also true. And at the end of the day, as all light and dark characters are, they are impossible to pull after their first debut. Afterwards, yes, you have a 6/6, potentially a 6/6 Trader Melly or a 6/6 Goddess Liz. They have popped up very often. So after maybe 6 to 9 months, you may, I love how that number popped in my head first. I'm not that bad, calm down. But 6 to 9 months, let's just say there, it will take before you actually see these characters reappear constantly, right? So again, at the end of the day, you have to realize that above everything, Mael still hasn't appeared, and he dropped in February. So February, March, April, May, June, July. We're basically in August, so let's just say August. You went how many months? How many months just waiting for this character to return? He didn't return. At the end of the day, pulling a dark character, light character is pretty good, and at that 660 gems is all you're actually investing. I mean, it is a pretty nice feeling. But at the end of the day, the only reason you're pulling for him is if you actually run Demon Team, first thing. Second, if you actually run Demon Team in Hero Arena. Third, if you actually run some sort of format of Demon Team in the Bird or whatever PvE content that is, that's the only reason you're pulling for him. Simply put, that's it. And again, I also want to mention that, remember, you don't actually have to put any gems in this banner. The best way to do it, if you're a free-to-play player, this is the way that I would do it. If you love Demon King, you summon day one, you like him, you do it that way. If you want to do this, you can definitely do this. Wait till the very last day. 240 gems, or technically 240 pulls, are a lot of pulls. You can get technically a copy in there, 2 copies in there, maybe even 3, who knows, right? So I would recommend the best way to do it is just let the 240 go in after you've gotten them all, after 4 weeks, summon summon, see what happens. Let's say you pull the character, you give up on the banner, you're done. Let's say you don't pull the character, if you want him, you start putting in gems from there, and you see how it goes. You're 2 multis away from a pity, the 300 mark, which could potentially give it to you. You're 300 away from that mark at 600. If you want to keep going, you're more than welcome to, but the best way to approach this banner is definitely just waiting till the last day and putting the 240 free in, and then see what happens, correct? So as it comes by, every multi, put the multi in, put the multi in, put the multi in every single day, and then when you reach the final part, after 240 gems or 240 pulls are put in, then see how it goes. I think that's like the best way to do it. Genuinely, that is the best way. So definitely up to you. And again, you'll know right away what happens when the next banner kicks up, because you'll reach that point after 4 weeks. You'll know what the part 2 was. You'll know what the part 3 was, if you will, if you were to consider the next part of part 3. But you'll know what it is. So keep it in mind, it's just my 10 cents. But again, I will say that if you have watched some of the PvP videos, I uploaded a free-to-play one, he is very powerful, that's simply put. Yes, there are other characters that also can counter him, that is true, but at the end of the day, if you're looking for a strong character, I think both Tyr and him are super powerful. I know people are saying that Tyr's dead now, which is far from the truth. I ran Tyr team 2 times already, because I just wanted to see, and I ran into, like, because he's all over JP, what is it, PvP, by the way? Every match I get up is literally him, just Demon King, Demon King, Demon King. So I ran Tyr twice, and even getting out CC'd, my Tyr didn't die somehow, because evasion food, right? So that's really good. And freaking slaughtered Demon Team. Slaughtered them. I'm telling you now, both characters are still powerful. If you've invested into your Ragnarok team, it's regardless of the fact they're both powerful characters. It doesn't matter who goes first. Well, it does. Evasion food really, kind of screws that, but they're both powerful. And I do think that at the end of the day, we've gotten some really powerful characters recently. But again, it's more so the fact that if you don't want this character, you can skip this character. It's just, he is powerful. He is going to be strong. He's going to be a PvP character, a hero arena character, potentially where you want to use him in PvP, PvE, that's also there. We have a new content coming soon called Coliseum. What is it? Creature Coliseum. Maybe he's good over there. We don't actually know. But at the end of the day, it's just worth mentioning that it's a dark character. It's a dark character valued at 660 gems. Are you really going to pass up on that value? You're getting from the login 210, from the multi over there 40, or rather 30, making that 240. So again, realize by the time that login completes, you have to know this too. By the time this completes and you're ready to summon, you have to know, guess what? I'm going to be able to get the collaboration unit, and I'm good to go. And technically, as a free-to-play right now, some of you may not have to actually summon. If you wait all the way until the last day, after all summons have been accumulated, you put all 240 in, maybe at the 30 mark you pulled, maybe at the 60 mark you pulled, or at the 210 mark, or at the final mark at 240, maybe you pulled the unit, and then boom, you don't have to summon. That's the greatest thing, right? But I do think, regardless of what people are saying, it is a powerful character. I would say it is worth it. I'm not going to argue must summon, because again, if you don't run Demon Team, don't summon for this, obviously put. But if you do run Demon Team, summon, it's a must summon for you. If you value a dark character at 660, go ahead and summon, that's really worth it. And I would say it's a must summon for you. But again, if you run Goddess Team, Unknown Team, you like collaboration units, maybe don't summon. Maybe just wait to see what's next. Again, the thing is, and this is why I'm telling you just to wait a little bit, because again, if you're free to play, I would first summon on the last day after all these pulls have been given to you, but I would also do that for 2 reasons. This event, I'm telling you now, is a precursor to something big. Not big like that, right? I'm trying to say it's either a collaboration or it is a Ragnarok unit that is for Nidhogg. Two reasons. One, a collaboration is scheduled to happen at that point, as the calendar suggested to us. But again, if it's not that, it is most likely Ragnarok, because all they have been doing in the back end, all they have been doing in the files, is consistently adding new updates and fixing Creature Coliseum to prepare it for launch. That means at some point, we're getting Creature Coliseum, and that is relatively soon. And the only time that can happen is now in August or October. So that is why. And if it is a Nidhogg unit, you must summon on that. That is a must summon for 99% of the players. Well, not 80%, because new players, right? Don't summon for that, but later on you will. But at the end of the day, that is worth mentioning. You have to know that, because yes, that is going to be a very lucrative banner where you need that unit. To beat Nidhogg, you need it. So it could be happening in 1 month. It could also be happening where a collaboration kicks up. And yes, that AOT stuff that's been floating around is completely BS. You just literally have to fact check it. Head over to the Google Drive that's been designed for all of the assets in the game. And that is an old asset that's been added months, years ago, actually, when it first dropped in JP. So do keep that in mind, but at the end of the day, that is worth mentioning. That's where we're currently at. I do think this banner itself isn't terrible. It's got some really good units on here if you're starting the game out new, or if you're just looking for characters like these 5 rather. They're all good dupes. They really are all good dupes. And again, that's like the 2 best bench units now for Demon Team. other than Nanashi and Bon. You have over here a very powerful character. Some pretty good festival units if you don't have them, right? It is worth it for like some stuff, Cusack, whatever you might say. This is pretty good if you don't have her. Again, not bad if you don't have him. Again, not really too good, but still like really good over here. Obviously the character you're pulling for. So the banner isn't bad, the value isn't bad, the character isn't bad, but it's just up to you, right? You're at a point where that's next. And I would say that it's worth the gems. I'm gonna summon because again, I don't want to be the one that doesn't pull a dark character, and that dark character is needed. It is very hard to get dark characters afterwards. It genuinely is. So do keep that in mind. All right, that's just my 10 cents. But the only time that he'll return, by the way, is at the end of the year, December Festival. So he will be back then. So if you want to summon then, you're more than welcome to. Keep that in mind.